I must admit, when Sinners ended, I felt battered, bludgeoned and battered by white guilt.
We're ready. We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We will survive.
Somebody who's not dope, who's also thirsty, dry. He's so dry, his throat look like the Sahara Desert. He is just out here trying to just get just the raindrops falling on his head. So apparently Skip Bayless went to see Sinners. No, he didn't go to see Sinners. He waited because he said the NBA finals or whatever. He couldn't go because of the basketball. Like you can't go watch a movie and
Bullshit.
go. Exactly, Smith. Right. Oh my God. Okay, I think Lil Wayne has something to say about this too. Before we get into it, what Lil Wayne got to say about it? You know, right? Yeah, I agree. Skip Bayless is trash. You heard? Okay, Lil Wayne told us Skip Bayless is trash. I'm with it. Okay.
I thought that was someone trying to start a lawnmower.
No, that was Lil Wayne. All right, so do we have time to play part one? So I will play part one. When we come back, we'll play part two. So so
just
go ahead.
Breakthrough filmmaking. Thank you, Mr. Coogler. Yet, I must admit, when Sinners ended, I felt battered, bludgeoned and battered by white guilt. Look, Sinners has no use for white people, nor should it. The prevailing metaphor, of course, is that evil, devious white people tricked black people and sucked their blood and turned them into something they weren't meant to be. The evil white vampires wrecked the juke joint life that the black people were building thanks to the money provided by the twin brothers who had gone up against the Chicago mob and lived to tell about it and returned home. So who's the first member of the black community to defy and betray the brothers? Well, it's the woman played by Mrs. Josh Allen Haley Steinfeld, who appears in Sinners to be, I think, biracial. She obviously has some white blood, which obviously prevails.
Oh my God.
And leads her and in turn the black community to ruin.
So when we come back,
hell is that?
When we come back, there's more to this though. There's more. Okay, Rob, when we come back, this speaks to what's the guy's name that told me not to interrupt him, Paul, whatever his name is. Yeah, this, you gotta always try to find the center yourself in something, right? If you've assessed that Sinners wasn't about you, you ain't got to comment, Skip Bayless. But your throat is so dry. Your whole being, you are a raisin. Not even in the sun, just dried up in potato salad, just sitting there not getting rise. We gotta go. We were talking about Skip Bayless, who saw, this was July 4th, I think, he watched Sinners. And he went on, he started the first, it was a 7-minute clip that I watched. Started the first 3 minutes talking about how amazing Ryan Coogler was, how amazing Brian, what did I call him, Brian? Michael B. Jordan. He said, and we get a double dose of him.
Yeah.
Ooh, he said, and we get a double dose. Anyway, so he said, he was like, oh my God. Delroy Lindo, anything he's in, like he praised it to the high heavens, how amazing it was. But he also said, I loved it and then I hated it. And what I honed in on was him hating it because of it making him feel guilty. And I thought that was odd. But then again, we just had a caller that wanted to center himself in a conversation that really we weren't talking about.
Is it odd for Skip Bayless to feel guilt over the idea of riding black culture
You're saying
into
something. Say more. Say more.
prominence and putting putting the proximity to blackness as a means to great profit for himself. I don't
Oh.
know that it would. I don't know that it
Oh.
isn't that off kilter for him to feel some level of guilt about that.
Okay. So you saying the hit dog was hollering?
Maybe. I mean, I know I've seen many a TV show where, it's three brothers and Skip, you know what I'm saying? And the brothers could be up there yelling and getting out of seats, preaching and acting completely different than Skip would ever act, and he's happy to conduct that circus and let that happen on his watch. And many a clip has gone viral of us, watching some brother in histrionics while he's there being, Skip. So I mean, don't even get me started on just his criticism of some of our black athletes that have shown themselves to be completely upstanding men and yet will never get a shred of credit from him. And he's made his name off of I don't give credit to this brother. So whether that be a Chris Bosh or a LeBron James or somebody like that. So I don't know, maybe he should feel a little guilty.
I didn't even process it that way. Okay. Let me play the second part of this because then he really it gets gets even better for him. Play it, Smith.
So if you followed my career at all, you probably know I've fought with all my might against racial injustice in this country. I've told this story before, so I'll be brief here. I was so blessed to have been mostly raised by a black woman who was far more of a mother and a teacher to me than my mother was, my real mother. Everything I know about right and wrong, I learned from Katie Bell Henderson, who worked for my grandmother, who traveled for her work. And I'm sure some black people say, oh, it's the help. But trust me, there was no plantation mentality operating at my grandmother's.
Smith, hold
Katie
on,
Bell ran that
pause,
household with that.
Pause. Jesus. So he's saying this with his full chest, not even recognizing. I mean, he's having this internal conversation. I know some of you were saying she was the help. She was the help.
Yeah, she was. But maybe he's referring to the movie The Help. He's like, oh, you trying to say it's like The Help, but it wasn't like that movie. It was different. That was my real mama, my black mama, who raised me to know right from wrong.
And I'm only pausing this because I've been banging on this survey that was put out by the Washington Post. It's the statistic: 3/4 of white Americans have no relationship with black people. And it's stunning when you hear it because as Skip, she raised me.
Right.
We've seen the pictures of black women with white babies suckling their breasts during enslavement. We know, I mean, all of us, I had a grandmother that washed clothes in white homes in Georgia, in Augusta, Georgia. I know many of you have had grandparents that worked as chauffeurs and the help and keep it, and also as nannies today. I saw a video, Rod, last couple of weeks ago. This family, their nanny had to go home to take care of her children in her country, black woman. And the children running through the airport crying and screaming and holding on to her as she's getting on the plane. They were so distraught, the babies, because the nanny was leaving, because, as the lady was saying, she's part of the family. And then when she came back, they did another video of how the children were so happy. That lady had children in other countries, in another country that she had to go and take care of. And the money, she said, like, it's not the same relationship. 866-801-8255. But in the mind of Skip Bayless and anybody that was raised by a black person in their home, I'm thinking of Strom Thurmond, who, anyway, I'm thinking about Strom Thurmond not being an anomaly in the South, that there are a lot of those kinds of relationships. You think Thomas Jefferson had a love affair with Sally Hemings. Like, there's weird,
and not just the South, right? Because like one of my favorite episodes of Atlanta is Trinity to the Bone, which is in the last season, but it's about the woman who's basically a nanny that ends up raising this little white kid who grows up to be Chet Hanks. Like
Oh
that's
my
like,
God.
it was very, very smart, very well done. I think Jordan Temple wrote it, one of my favorite episodes. But my point being, like, it's not an anomaly. And I'm not even banging on Skip for it, to be honest, because if that is what happened, that's what happened. Like, if his parents weren't present enough, this is what happens all the time to white people. They grow up around us because they really did not get whatever they needed from their parents, and they end up getting that moral institution from us. And I'm not surprised, because I don't find, like, Skip might be abrasive. He's a lot of stuff. But I've never watched Skip and felt like, yo, this man right here, he just hate black people. That's not what
No,
I
don't
feel.
I don't feel like he hates.
Yeah, I feel like in some ways, I feel like it could almost be that he's a little too comfortable, because and this happens sometimes even with good people, but it's like, in your small world, no matter how much of a TV it is, I'm just arguing with my friend Shannon. Like, we safe. We could talk like this to each other. And then we go to the next segment. I'm just talking to Stephen A. Okay. I don't know. Like, y'all might get something else from this, but we just having a conversation where I'm loudly disagreeing with black men every day of the week. And to me, I don't see how that's a problem. I just see it as we can be like that. I'm not afraid to disagree with my friend, like that. So I could see a version of that in his head. And and also the first part of his analysis to the movie wasn't that far off. Like, I was like,
no, it was perfect.
That sounds like what happened. The internal guilt monologue is something you got to deal with as a white person on your own. It's not really for me to I don't know what you do with that.
Well, I'm gonna play the rest of it, and that was my assessment. Why are we in it? Like,
I don't know.
Go get counseling.
Maybe he talking to other white people or something. Like, hey,
think so? Okay,
I felt it too, guys.
Smith's got to finish.
An iron fist, unquestioned iron fist. My home was broken, so I spent a lot of time at my grandmother's. I grew up in Oklahoma City. Katie Bell grew up in rural Alabama, though, like Michael B's character, she had spent many years working in Chicago, where her son and grandkids lived. My soul aches when I have to watch what white people did to black people in the Deep South in the 1930s and any other form of that. I know all about it. I don't know how to fix it. Obviously, I can't fix it. And after a while, it's just hard to watch. For me, it's hard to watch. I didn't participate in it. I didn't contribute to it. Yet I still feel so deeply guilty about it because of the color of my skin.
Oh, that was it. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there's more, but I don't think white people should feel guilty. I think you should be educated, like the caller Paul. Like, the goal is not to make you feel guilty. We're going to talk about history. We're going to talk about harm. My question is always, why do you identify with the vulture or the vampire? Why do you identify with the colonizer or the enslaver? Why? You don't have to, right? And the more I hear my ancestors came through Ellis Island, and then why are you raising your children to identify with the Confederacy? Why are you raising your children to identify with the hatred if it's not you? So you don't have to. You have a choice, right? You don't have to identify with this character. So you're feeling guilt because you identify with something. That's the question. Like, why do you identify with something?
What do we always say, though, right? We always say representation matters, right? I know as a black person, it hit me different when it was a black character on the screen, no matter what they were doing. If I didn't agree with it, I still felt a level of connection to the fact that was a portrayal. What white people have been able to live in America is a level of privilege where there's so much representation they get to pick and choose. But when we get to tell a story and our story involves white characters and very limited few of them, that's the first time that the shoe was on the other foot. And they're like, oh, this is how this person who created this thing, this is how they see whiteness. And so you can't escape that for 2.5 hours. You actually have to live in that. Ryan Coogler didn't write a white savior in here. You know, this isn't like even 12 Years a Slave where Brad Pitt produced it and Brad Pitt plays a role where he comes in and goes, hey, these slaves, they're people. Okay. So maybe slavery is wrong. All right. Going back to 1886. And so I feel like I hope and I would think guilt can be a powerful thing that it's not always bad. Like you should feel some level of something. And powerful art makes you feel things. So what you may be feeling is your privilege. What you may be feeling is the fact that you're not acting on this stuff now, because that's 1930 on the film that's made up. We living in 1930 and 2025 in a reality that's not made up. And where are you now, brother? What do you have to say about these topics now? You just said, you guys know me. I've always spoken out against racism. Have you? Because I'm gonna be real, I did not know that. And I'm not trying to say that in a negative way of like, I'm just saying when you bring up Skip Bayless, those are not the things that people go, well, you know, that man crusades against racism all the time. Like, I don't know him to be that guy.
I was going to say it was my first time hearing that.
Right. So like my personal opinion, obviously completely projecting, maybe the guilt you feeling is the silence you have now for the culture, because I think you have a platform big enough that you could be speaking up on these things. And I think a lot of these sports guys, for their own reasons, it's not just white people, by the way, it's pretty much everyone in that industry. They don't speak up on a lot of this stuff because it's costly. You're going to lose a lot of stuff speaking up like this. And so maybe you got a little call to action from Ryan Coogler, a little tap on the soul to be like, hey, man, you could be doing better, right? You know, this stuff is still happening. These allegories are still specific to today, and you're working in an industry that is literally predicated upon the backs of black labor all the time. And very few people are speaking up for those folks. So maybe he got a little call to action, and I hope he does more with it than just tell us he felt guilty after seeing the movie.
Amen. Amen.
We're ready. We're prepared. Do not give in to fear. We are fearless. This is not the time to be afraid. This is a time to stand up and fight back and to resist any temptation for them to divide us. We're in this together. The rule of law is on our side. We will not give in, not give up. We will not capitulate. We will not bow. We will not bend. We